Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. Uh, Today we're going to have a little Hasbro Magic the Gathering update on the market. We had our quarterly earnings report with old Papa Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, and quite frankly, it was pretty uneventful. There's two little pieces I just wanted to discuss with you all publicly. Number one, uh, kind of related to Hasbro, but just unless you guys weren't aware, Mattel, another major toy maker, not related to Magic the Gathering or the digital gaming thing, but Mattel is actually in the process of having interests of private equity and some rich billionaire Wall Street stuff. Let's just keep it simple. And an attempt to buy out Mattel. There's actually interest on Wall Street to buy out the toy company. Because of this, obviously, everybody says, well, what about Papa Hasbro? This always leads to a little bit, well, if you're interested in that, what about these guys? Mattel and Hasbro are pretty different companies, even though they kind of play in the same playground, but it definitely got a lot of attention the last week or so. I don't know if anything's going to come out of it. In my personal opinion, I'm hoping that Hasbro does not get bought out or anything like that. I would not be a fan of that direction. If Hasbro stock is $60 a share, let's say, whatever it is at the filming of this, if they were to buy the company out, they're probably going to offer them something like $70, $80 a share, which in my opinion, long term is severely underpriced. Obviously, I'm a large shareholder of Hasbro, so that's not something I would like to happen. So there's been some interesting chatter about why they would like Mattel over Hasbro, and obviously they're very differently ran companies. And Mattel, although they have a lot of their own stupid decisions, has not made as many dumb, top-level corporate idiotic decisions that Hasbro has. Hasbro, in the last 5 years, has just been riddled with awful corporate management between the E1 and the entertainment, the Dungeons and Dragons movie direction. They sold the E1 thing, overprinting of their actually not only the Magic and Hasbro, but actual overproduction of actual board games when, well, the sales of board games and tabletop tanked, and they were still just pumping out board games and stocking them up in warehouses. So they had all these tabletop items that were just, they didn't adjust. For whatever stupid ass reason, the people at the top, like I said, for the longest time, you have Wizards of the Coast ran by thousands of amazing, talented people, and you've got these small little, maybe 5, 10, 20 people at the top of Hasbro and WotC that are just morons. It's like the South Park episode where they cut the head of a chicken off and they throw it on a twister mat, and it runs in circles, and whatever the chicken just falls over and dies on, that's what they make decisions. Remember that South Park episode? And it's just, nobody ever really understood it. So, interesting, the point is Mattel getting private equity interest was quite an interesting surprise to me. I didn't see that coming, and there was chatter about Hasbro regarding buyout after the Mattel interest. I don't know anything's going to come out of it. I don't have any inside information on it. I just personally hope Hasbro does not get bought out because I feel that the company is severely underpriced at the current price, because whatever the stock is, in order to buy the company out, they usually have to offer a premium of current market price. And market price is only $60 a share. It's cheap as hell, in Rudy's opinion. If you want advice, get someone who's licensed, not a dude in the basement who uses an $8 coupon for a haircut. But if it's at $60 a share, usually buyouts take place at 10, 20, 30, 40% higher of current market price, which will only make it 70, 80 a share, which I hope doesn't happen. Anyways, most importantly, second part of this video. There really wasn't much to report on the Hasbro thing. Their profit was better than expected. The stock popped up a little bit, streamlining it. But the one thing I wanted to discuss was the inventory thing. That was the thing that patrons and you guys sent me the most messages on. And once again, that's what a lot of Wall Street analysts were following, and that is the inventory management of overproduction of all categories of Hasbro. Not only Magic and paper Magic and overproduction of Magic cards, but just in general. The table touches overproducing all of their board games and items. Of course, the all-in comment everyone's focused on about digital and everything. I mean, it's 2024. I mean, Magic Arena, digital anything, mobile apps, all these things are the most profitable stupid thing ever, because you have a lot of young people that will literally just take their paychecks and buy virtual things that aren't real. Remember, you will own nothing and be happy, that whole meme. So I don't really think that's a surprise. So everybody focusing on, oh, they're all in on digital, Rudy, that means the end of paper Magic is near. Yes, Captain Timmy, I hope you use a coupon in the drive-thru. That's just what companies are supposed to say, because again, digital items have fatter margins, they are less costly, and every dollar of gross sales tends to have a larger, fatter net profit. It flows through better. On digital things, If you get $1 of digital revenue, you're probably going to net like some outrageous 30 to 50% or 30 to 50 cents on the dollar profit. Or if you buy, paper magic, after R&D, production, logistics, storage, printing, all this crap, every dollar of revenue probably only nets maybe 10 to 20 cents net profit, even though the scholars on the internet want to tell you that magic cards only cost fractional pennies and every booster box costs a penny to make and all that dumbass stuff. So I'm not really surprised about this whole all in on digital and this thing, because again, that's what they should be doing. Mobile apps, the Monopoly franchise, the My Little Ponies, all the little kids things, all the actual board game, the Monopoly Go, all these things are very profitable. Having microtransactions in mobile games and mobile apps is the future until, well, society and culture shift again. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. Corporations shifting to that is kind of what they're supposed to do. I don't think it means anything for paper magic. But to end this video, which means we're halfway through, it's very encouraging to hear the continued reduction of inventory levels. And not just in Magic, but just in general, with the board games, the tabletop, all their paper-related production of products that are tangible. It's very nice to see that they are continuing to wind down excess inventory in warehouses across the country and the world, and they are adjusting how much they're producing. So when this, to correlate to Magic, essentially means they are printing more in line with what the market needs, and the collector or more rare versions of things, maybe a collectible version of a board game or a limited crossover version of a Monopoly with a different branding attached to it. They are not overproducing millions of these when they can only sell maybe 500,000. They're not doing that. They've been adjusting how much supply, just the materials. They're actually making it more in line with what they can actually sell on the revenue side. Again, this is not really anything new. We've been talking about this for many quarters now. We already discussed. Everybody's very, very clear. We've all made it very, very open. And Rudy stands by the Magic the Gathering and the overprinting era ended in the Q3 of 2023. We are 3 quarters away from that. So I'm not surprised to see that that is still the path, that Hasbro reported positively that their inventory bloating continues to just deflate in a positive direction. These are all things that we've all been discussing on this channel now for 8, 9, 10 months now. I know the general consensus in the market and the people online, the Reddits, the scholars, the MySpace people, the comment section people still want to be the very, burn Hasbro to the ground, down with evil, all that stuff. But, the data continues to show Magic is extraordinarily healthy. They've had one failing release of the year, which is Murders at Carlo Manor. And past that, everything has been doing incredibly well. Even through the bear market of 2 years that annihilated sealed products, single cards, modern cards, everything, in the last 6 months, we've seen reinflation and stability of a lot of sealed product, even before 2020, that 2012 through 2019 era, that all got obliterated from the 2-year crash. We continue to see retracements of a lot of things. You can pull up older sets like the Kaladesh, the Battle for Zendikars, and even master sets. We're seeing kind of that repricing and stabilizing, which is a sign of a healthy, good market that's very stable. So that is pretty much nothing really exciting that Hasbro said. These are all things that we kind of, everyone who's really just going to give you a real opinion about Hasbro in the last 6 months, this is all stuff that we've all kind of known about, and they just kind of reinforce what we all kind of knew. And I mean, there's really not any surprising thing on it. But of course, it is a quarterly report. I got to make a video on it. I don't think anyone should be surprised by it. If you take emotion out of the equation, it continues to look like that Magic is on a healthy path. I'm still not a fan of the path they're on. I'm not a huge fan of the Universes Beyond. It doesn't feel like old school and OG Magic to me, but my attitude and my emotions don't really mean shit. So I can tell you the data, people are happy, the game is happy. Obviously, it's not a direction I would take the game, but the dollars and the data and the sell-through rate, I mean, the data is the data. It is what it is. So moving forward, what can you all expect? So just to give a little Magic update here, obviously in the next few days, depending when you watch this video, we'll be even doing the Rudy Bloomborough Collector and Playbox sale. Sorry, I don't have the Commander decks. That was a party foul on my end, even if I requested them, probably only would have gotten 100 or 2. But the point is, we do have the Bloomborough stuff coming up. Remember, as we roll into August, we are officially adding play boxes for the patrons and everything, and we're going to have a permanent flat price on that. So it's not going to be a different price for Karlov Manor, a different price for Bloomborough, a different price for Thunder Junction, Rudy's, Western, Back to the Future. We're going to have a flat thing, kind of like how we do all the draft boxes for 91 bucks shipped. You can choose from between 6, 7, 8 different draft boxes. We will have a play box list for everybody. It's been in the works, and we're hoping, again, be around that 113, maybe 116 range shipped. So it's just a flat price. The prices aren't going to change every month. And of course, that does mean you will start to see things on social media of Rudy's overcharging for this. Can you believe how much above market? You'll start to see that chatter, because as prices swing up and down, I'm not going to change the prices. If the prices tank, I'm already selling them at a loss. Nothing I can do. If the prices skyrocket, I'm going to leave the prices the same, and you're going to think Rudy's giving you a crazy deal. So obviously, public perspective is going to shift based on how the market prices these things. But stores can only pay a certain price for these boxes. I can't really change them every week. I can't get a different price every week. It is what it is. So that also, one last caveat, just like the draft boxes in the last 8 years we've been doing this. Remember the super cheap pricing for play boxes. It usually takes about 30 to 45 days after release to get the super cheap pricing on there. So Bloomborough on day one will not be insane $300 off a case, okay? It'll only be maybe $50 to $100 off a case of Bloomborough compared to TCG Player. Still a good savings, but it's not going to be the insane pricing. That will take 30-ish days, so keep that in mind, everybody. Like Thunder Junction boxes. But still, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You just have to be patient. Don't let your Timmy Lizard brain take over. And, honestly, even if, Thunder Junction boxes are well, let's make a random number, 114. 114 shipped for a Thunder Junction box. You buy a case of 6 or something. That's, what is that, $50, $75 off market for one item? I think that's still pretty fair. I'm pretty comfortable with that. I think most people who are willing to actually take time and think about things in this world would be pretty happy with that. So that's what's happening with the play boxes coming up. Should be a lot of fun. We still have about maybe 5-10 box opening videos between Weiss, Pokemon, Magic, and Flesh and Blood in the queue before the box opening queue gets flushed out. And then I will reset the box opening queue next month. I definitely, excuse me, I definitely want to do some Commander Masters box opening now that everybody's all wound up about that, because the prices in the collector box, everything's just gone straight up on it. I think, are they all-time high now, Commander Masters? Ooh, that's a dangerous hot take, but that makes people's heads roll. What else is going on here? We got let's see, Flesh and Blood Rosetta. We got Altharian Legends Sorcery. We got some Weiss sets, and I think the Pokemon release, the Shrouded Fable, should be finally in August after they delayed it a few weeks. So anyways, and then keep in mind, folks, with the Magic the Gathering, we are going to be having the huge collector box for Commander Legends 2, Baldur's Gate. We're going to have our loyalty long-term Magic sale coming up here in the next 30-ish days. That's the goal, at least. And that should be a ton of fun. So remember, depending how long you've been pretty much watching and being a patron of this channel, your price point is going to slide between $99 a collector box all the way to maybe $199. And your price point will be depending, if you're a 5-year patron, your price may be $150 a collector box or something. Which, hey, you get a case of that, holy smokes, that's $400 off market. So there'll be a lot of fun things like that coming up. I've been working on that for a while. So I think that's about it. It's not really, like I said, the market's, again, pretty good. There's really, and I know the views and the draw, this kind of, video and kind of calmness and positivity isn't really what everyone's looking for. But, I know everyone just thinks, the next recession, the world's ending, everything's going to zero, Great Recession, Depression, Magic will be toilet paper. Things are doing really well. We'll have another Pokemon update video because you guys have been blowing me up on that with Scarlet Violet. And yes, I'm aware, the new Pokemon set, the brand new, the Twilight 007, Eyes Wide Shut Masquerade, you guys have been blowing me up on it. I got a video coming on it. The newest Pokemon set has been going nuts. And you guys have just been going crazy. And that's just how it is. Fun fact, when I ran that Pokemon Twilight Masquerade Eyes Wide Shut set a little while ago, when it came released with patrons, I think I had only 3 patrons bought the large 24 box order. And I was selling Twilight Masquerade in bulk. You could pay, it was $95 shipped a box. And I think nobody wanted it. Everybody made fun of me for it. And oh, what's the point of being a patron? All this negative dumbass shit. And of course, those patrons are already gone and everything. But in a couple months later, Twilight Masquerade swings, and now it's all-time high, 125 out of nowhere on TCG Player. I didn't see that coming. I can't take credit for it, but it's interesting how quickly perspective can change, and now people are going crazy for it, and it's just a weird thing. Scarlet Violet has really turned a lot faster than we all thought, but I'll make a separate Pokemon video. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate the support as we approach 10 years on YouTube, and one of the longest running patron accounts in Magic and YouTube history there, with over 9 years on Patreon. And you guys have been awesome as always. Your views, appreciate your kindness, and the patrons and the views, those are the two reasons I'm still doing this. I don't have outside sponsorships. I don't do that kind of stuff. I just sell you guys cardboard, talk about the market news and the things that go up, things that tank and dump on us, and the things that go in circles. And you all have a beautiful day.